some reworked fairy tales. Fed up. Red Riding Hood's grandma had chest pain galore, cholesterol looming at 244, and blood pressure spikes. Though she kept it all quiet, her daughter found out and imposed a strict diet. No more would she bundle Red off with a pail of cookies for Granny. Instead, she sent kale and casseroles ranging from foul to insipid, because she had stripped them of every known lipid. One day Red arrived to find Granny in bed. "Come closer, my dumpling," the dowager said. Forget the lame cover-up tale that came later. No wolf gobbled Red. It was Granny who ate her. Mama Bear sets the record straight. People say we went walking together, Papa, Baby and I, in nice weather, as we waited for porridge to cool. Point of fact, I took Baby to school. Breakfast long since consumed. It was Monday, also known as my weekly have-fun day with Rapunzel and Cindy and Snow. We go shopping and take in a show, then grab tacos or maybe some blintzes, but they all had gone out with the princes. I slumped home to find sirloin remains and 2 napkins with Cabernet stains, side by side on the dining room table. Evil stepmom's gone wild, paused on cable. Lingerie trailed upstairs and beyond. On my pillow, 6 hairs, curly, blonde. Where was Papa? Some creaks on the landing. Then my husband was suddenly standing by the bed. A back window slammed shut as he babbled, "You'll never guess what. Just a burglar away. Things got gory. Even Disney's not buying that story." Not so Snow White. Things started so well. Found a chick in a box. Got her out, and days later we wed. Such a snap, because speaking of life's pleasant shocks, my stepmom-in-law turned up dead. Home that night, after finally fooling around, happy endings for both, I sighed heaven. But my wife simply stared at the ceiling and frowned. "Is that it? I'm accustomed to 7. Hair-raising. The story you've heard, how some harpy imprisoned me, casting a curse. Well, scribble this down with a sharpie. My actual mother was worse. I left home at 18. "Stay, Rapunzel," cried my mum. "You'll destroy everything. That cute prince with the dimples and buns will be arriving next week with a ring." "I'm an artist," I said, packed my brushes, and presto, I made my big move. What painter with anything rushes into marriage? I aimed for the Louvre. In the forest I leased a sweet penthouse, with a window but not a front door. It was quite the affordable rent house, since getting inside was a chore. But Charmless, that stupid vain weasel, just stalked me, then yelled by the hour, "Let your hair down, forget that damn easel, let me climb up your hair to your tower." He got louder and ruder and sadder. "Use your magical hair, be a sport. Had the bozo not heard of a ladder?" "My hair," I replied, "is too short." "I'll just wait while it grows," he suggested, which he did, how my lustrous locks coiled as he lunged by the tower bare-chested, and lovingly kept his pecs oiled. At last, "Come on up," my voice chiming, he ascended my braid until, ack! He discovered just what he'd been climbing, jumped off it, and never came back. The moral, when schmucks won't get going, when they threaten to stay and propose, simply do as I did and start growing the magical hair in your nose. Cinderella's podiatrist writes an Amazon review. When your slippers are basically jars, these are excellent corn pads, 5 stars. Still, they don't do a thing, I should know, to combat fungal growth in each toe. Bunions and blisters and boils of all sorts, on neuroma, fasciitis and warts. You need footwear that cushions, I tell her, and that breathes. I don't say I can smell her. Charming lovesies, the princess replies, even more than my boobies or thighs. He insists that my feet, shod yet bare, are the parts that excite him down there. He's a footman, he laughs at his joke, with its whisper of commoner folk. So my tootsies are achy and wettish. What's my comfort compared to his fetish? A lost cause, plus she started a fad. There are no pints of jam to be had, and no bottles of syrup or booze, now that glass is used mainly for shoes. My one hope, her beloved Fairy G, has informed me that for a small fee, she's got spells to convince royal psyches. There's nothing more kinky than Nikes. A cat tail. How I wish that my storied pursuits were all true, that I'd worn fancy boots, and accomplished a marvellous deed in them, but I have to admit, I just peed in them. Half-baked. As the gingerbread woman who caught him at last, I can say it's high time for debunking. To be delicate, running's not all he does fast, and he gets pretty soggy with dunking. The witch demands a retraction. What malarkey! Let's start with the bread that they crumbled. It wasn't the last dinner dealt to a woodcutter's children whose hardship had humbled, but 8 bugs a loaf came my spelt, and those kids were escaping from some highfalutin and health-conscious borough in haste. Having heard of my haven of sugar and gluten, they desperately wanted a taste. How I pity such tots with their sad deprivations, the flavourless tofus and greens, the zucchini banana and hemp-seed libations, the M&M free Halloweens. So I fed them. They loved me. They called me their auntie. I gave every possible treat, till the day that I gobbled them down with spumante. We selfless old hags have to eat. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers and patrons. See you next week. Bye bye.